thought of this young woman who lost her life just like that. And I tweeted about it, and Florence, I found were grieving grieving about the same person. And to not take it so far away from our own celebrities here, I remember radio, I remember Ballet Francis, I think of Rosemary and others, and hence our topic for today. Have you ever felt strongly about the death of a celebrity?
Oh my God. I felt Whitney. Queen Whitney. Like when Whitney died, I felt like I died. I felt like my childhood died. It's like there was a time whereby I could practically sing all her songs. I knew all her lyrics. It's like, I felt like my mother all over again somehow. I don't know. There's a way I just connected with Whitney. Like if anyone did connect with Whitney, I don't understand. Who wouldn't? Like Whitney, those ladies, Celine, that group, Brandy, Mariah Carey, like either of them, if they drop dead.
Yeah, though you're making it seem like they died. I was going to say, oh my God, they are
No, they are not dead. But you know, there is that caliber, that category whom I've grown up with, even Madonna, and I would feel like something has been taken away from me, you know? I would feel that. And then bring it back home to Uganda, I really miss Lucky Dube. I miss Brenda Fassie. And of course, the bracelet man. Why did this guy die? Who is the bracelet man? Mose Radio.
Yeah.
That death hurt me.
Florence, when you said bring it home to Uganda, I don't want people thinking that we thought that Lucky Dube was from Uganda.
Oh, no, he's South African. And Brenda Fassie.
And whose death affected you, if anyone at all?
For me, my first celebrity death was Princess Diana. I was so touched. I was so moved. It was those days before the internet, before WhatsApp, before anything. But I don't even know how I got to know that she had passed, because I was at school. We didn't listen to radio.
As Anne gets back, Craig, do you ever get affected by celebrity deaths?
Yeah, I mean, not in a bad way, you know. When I was younger, you know, I used to feel like there's like some celebrities. Like I remember, I was such a huge fan of Aaliyah. I loved Aaliyah. She was such a great dancer, you know, and she just looked pretty and beautiful and everything, and the whole vibe with Timbaland and all that. Like I just felt like I belonged, like I was like part of the gang, you know. And then when she died, I was like, oh my God, it's like I knew her, you know. When you know the music, I used to watch the videos and behind the making of the scenes and recording of the music videos and stuff like that. I was just like obsessed with everything that she had and in terms of style and all that. So when she died, I felt like, oh my God, it's like I knew her literally. And then you see all the people that were around her, like Missy and Mary J. Blige, all her friends, and they're literally crying. And you're like, oh my God, like, yes, like, I just wish, you know, like, I really, yeah. So you get those celebrities. Then there's, what was her name? Lisa, Left Eye from TLC as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Lisa as well. And the fact that it was an accident. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, she was really good. And you know, you feel like you've lost someone, and then because you know the music is also going to die as well. I mean, we've heard Aaliyah, thank God, she still managed to be relevant till today. Her music is still quite good and out there, you know, and people love it, you know. But then you have people who just die, like when Left Eye passed, you know, TLC just disappeared just like that, you know. So you do get those that.
Yeah, I like that Lisa left, you know, TLC had built themselves to such a place that even with her gone, it's still music that's still, you know, out there and popping, at least for people like me.
Yeah, definitely. You know?
Yeah, and you know, Craig, you talked about something interesting. Obsession. Oh, by the way, Aaliyah, I love Aaliyah. I miss the fact that her youth, I feel like her youth was stolen. I feel like a gift was stolen. Yeah, you mentioned something about, you know, there's still her music. But the truth is that she could have made more music. I feel like we've lost, you know, all that. You know, even with Whitney, I was thinking that we've lost more releases. We've lost music we can connect with. Like these guys sing and you cry along to their lyrics or you celebrate. Like if you have a breakup with someone, you're going to look for a breakup song by Whitney, a breakup song by this one, all the things. Like they are practically family, you know, strangers, but they are family. And then you talked about obsession. I obsess sometimes with stars. Obsession. Mm-mm. Please, Josephine, I don't know about you.
Yes, I was going to say, yesterday I saw one of the women I really, really like, and she, I think the news was saying it was an attempted suicide, Tamar Braxton. And so I've been like on my phone the whole time, like every so often, just checking, like I don't want to hear the worst. I'm just...
Tamar Braxton?
Yeah.
Yeah, she tried to commit suicide on Thursday, I think. Yeah.
Oh my God, I missed that.
About it. But I wanted to ask you guys, when these people died, what was your grief like? You know, I'm going to start. For me, when the people that I really liked, you know, when they died, I would play their music like for forever. And I can remember when they died. Like I remember where I was at that point. I'll write a blog about them or a poem or I'll just...
Oh my God.
Let down. I remember when Princess Diana died, you guys mentioned it. I was on the road. I was going for a camp. My dad was dropping me. He had just parked at that's the nursery school that's above Nakasero Primary School. I was getting out of the car and then they said it. I just sat back down and I just sat and I'm waiting and my dad is looking at me like, you know, what's wrong with you? Michael Jackson, I was on my way to work. I was already at MTV. I'd gotten a lift from my sister's husband, and then they announced on the radio, Michael Jackson, you know, is dead. He turned the car, went back to their home, and that we just all sat down watching the TV like the whole day. Whitney, when she died, I just sat there at the office. I sat there on Chimumba's, our desk, and I just played her music from that moment on for the rest of the day. But radio right here at home, when he died, my nanny just came screaming to my room and she's saying, Karunji, what are they saying on TV? Your friend has died. Your friend has died. I mean, I didn't even met the man, but I tried to understand it all because I loved his music so much. I loved his brain, the way he used to, you know, the
I
lyrics.
know.
So my car used to have Do on it on the side mirrors because that was one of my favorite songs. But how do you guys grieve those people when they die?
I think when it comes to musicians, the only way you do it is go back and play their songs and then listen to their songs once more and all that. When you were talking about all those names, I got goosebumps again as if they've just died. You brought back that memory. But the thing is, you find that there's an overload of information around the time a celebrity dies. It's all over. It's on the radio. It's on your TV. So normally, what I do as my way of paying last respect to these people, I sit and consume it all. These are days when I don't have restrictions. If I am available, if I have some time, I'm going to consume all the news or everything they say about that person. I'm going to read it and try to. That's how I pay my respects, I guess, to them. If there were people I was close to, like their music I relate, then I have to play their music. So there was, like when Prince died, Anna didn't know Prince. I'm embarrassed to say. I didn't know Prince until he died. So I was like, why is everyone all over? First thing, where is this Prince? Where is he? Is he like an MJ of sorts? It's not Michael Jackson. Then I went to read and I'm like, I can't even believe this man lived this kind of life and even the life ended and Anna hadn't discovered the man. So I discovered Prince after he died and went to listen to his songs. Then there was a movie that came out after I watched it. Now I feel like I lost someone that I didn't even know and I grieved that person. Can you imagine?
It's weird, the fact that sometimes you discover them after they've died and you still make a reconnection. Like, I don't get that. So for me, how I really grieve, like I said, sometimes I always connect it to my mom and I cry even the hardest because then I think of everyone that I've lost. But I listen to their music. I get crazy. Like I'm always on Twitter looking at what is everyone saying about them. You know, I feel like I look for that community which were interested in them. And of course, sometimes I put out tweets. I'm embarrassed to say. I found some, like on Mose, I think I said, oh my God, it's like my guy is gone or something like that. Like, I feel like it's a personal loss. Like, it's so deep, it's profound. I found one on Whitney where I was saying, oh my God, Ciara was doing something to honor her, to remember her. And that was 5 years later. And there I was, after her 5th year of death, there I was still tweeting and remembering her and saying, oh my God, the queen, she's been well remembered, you see? So yeah, that's how we get on. And of course, sometimes I binge listen their music. I do a marathon, or if there is a series or something. Oh my God, talking of series, that guy Luke from Riverdale.
I didn't watch that one.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't watch that one. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it, so I'm safe. I didn't get the all the emotions related.
yeah.
Craig, how do you? What's your grief like?
Well, sorry. What's that? What's it like?
Grief like.
Well, let me see. When it comes to, because the thing is, because I'm one of those people, because I'm into really like pop culture, and I do follow it a lot. So I tend to be like literally nosy, and like I'm always stalking these people like on Instagram and everywhere, like I'm on it, you know. So when they do pass, usually I'm thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I saw a tweet, like I remember I saw them doing some reality show. I remember them having a mental breakdown on social media and all that. So I kind of feel like I kind of missed it. And then I'm like, oh, I wish now someone knew. You know, that's how I deal with it, because I'm thinking, oh, I wish I could have done something about it. I wish I could have like tweeted them, or I could have just slid into the DMs and say something, you know, every now and then. Yeah, there's all those tiny things, you know. Yeah, that's how I deal with it. But then there's people actually like when it comes to Whitney, you know, it was a car crash waiting to happen. You know, that literally I was thinking, you know, every day you wake up and when you read something about her, you're like, oh my goodness, she's still alive, you know. And then when it eventually happens, then I kind of like, I feel bad, like I feel like I could have done something about it, you know. I can't save the entire nation, but you know, these things, because the thing is, as you remember, Josephine, you know, because I've been around a group of musicians and stuff like that, and celebrities, so you know, they are different people when they're out there, but when they behind closed doors, they're actually just normal, decent human beings, you know. So they do have feelings, they do have friends, they have parents, so that they live a normal, actually decent life. And sometimes it's even worse than what's out there. They could be actually broke, you know, but they still have to get up on stage and make everybody happy, you know? So it's one of those things that now when they pass on, I'm thinking, oh God, you know, I'm like, I wish there's something I could have done, you know? I don't tend to play the music back and forth, you know? Because pretty much normally I'm always one of those, like, I'm always on iTunes waiting for even like if an EP drops that has like 2 songs, I'm always like on it. Like, yeah, because I literally stalk my celebrities, you know? So like I'm always aware of it. And then there's also like, this is like unreleased music or content. So I always look around for stuff like that. You know, is there anything that was not released? You know, or is there maybe an interview that they did before that wasn't aired? You know, yeah. I tend to look for for those tiny things like that. Yeah.
I do that with radio, actually.
Yeah.
That's fun, but I don't stalk celebrities. Like, I don't want to know what's happening with your life. I just want to hear your music. So I would never even have known, like, this is what's happening with so and so we could be watching out. But I think, let me just confess, I have this weird habit of, I'll read about a celebrity in a book, a celebrity that died, and they're saying something about them, and I'll just go backwards. So I found myself getting fixated, you know, tied to reading about Nate and all these people, because I'm trying to understand why she said, or why they say she said, if you can't afford bread, buy cake or something. and then I understand she was this kind of person. Now I'm thinking about her. I'm just watching all these documentaries about her. And I think that I now also watch documentaries on Michael Jackson, Left Eye, yeah, all of those guys, just to try to understand their senseless deaths, because some of them are really, senseless.
Yeah.
Those are things that you feel like, like Craig says, you could have avoided. Aaliyah's plane crash, you're thinking, watching the documentary, and they're saying that plane, they weren't supposed to take that plane, but then they were in a hurry. You're thinking, why? Trying to go back. But
analysis.
Question to you guys: why do you think that you feel about these people's deaths? Why do they affect you so much? Florence, you've already said it. Just take you back to your own personal losses. What else? What else makes you feel the way you do about these people? What do you think?
I think it's the whole thing of it's the whole thing of mortality. Death does that to us. It does that when you lose someone you know, or someone has died in an unexpected way and is all over the news. And also when a celebrity dies, that's when you're forced to think about your own mortality. I don't know if others do, but I think about my own death a lot. And people think that, I'm going to die. Yes, of course I'm going to die. So I might as well think about it. So when a celebrity dies, especially if it's unexpected, if they were on a way to do something, then they hadn't done it yet, they were just about to do it, maybe to release an album or all these things, I'm like, oh my God, this could have been me. It could have, all of us are going to die. I need to really do this. So do whatever it is I was supposed to be doing. Now, like this, what's her name? The one who died, the Glee actress.
Oh, Naya. Oh my God, Naya.
Naya, I'm like, I didn't know her. Also, that's another one I discovered after her death. Guys, I don't know celebrities unless they are, Mandela, they are not celebrities. So, and when Naya, I see her death, I'm like, oh my God, that little baby that she left, this could have been me leaving my baby. So I start thinking about my babies, if something happens to me and I have to die and, leave them, things like that. So I am forced to to reflect on my life, and which is good and sad at the same time.
Yeah, I think for me, it's more like, I feel like a family has been robbed of someone, their loved one. And in most cases with like celebrities, it's because they've probably been like providing for the entire family of probably like about 20 people, because they are the ones that have the money. So they're supporting this entire like family, and this like huge, sometimes they're supporting charities, sometimes they've been supporting probably their neighbor or someone on their street. So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, now these people are all, I'm thinking, I'm like, who's going to look after them now? So it's one of those things that reality hits you. It's like when you lose your dad or someone close to you, you're like, oh my God. So that's how I tend to feel that way. And I'm thinking, oh God, now, so probably they've left like kids behind, like, what's this guy who died in the plane with the daughter? Is that Kobe?
Yeah,
the basketball player, yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my goodness, what's the wife going to do now? It's situations like those when you're like, oh my God, that it really hits hard,
Yeah. Craig, you've mentioned Kobe. That one, I was a bit conflicted. And Anne, I think you're also conflicted a bit about his death. Sometimes, we miss them and stuff like that. But then there's a celebrity who dies and they had question marks, and you're like, okay, this guy was great, but then there was a time he was accused and proved that he practically, allegedly, but it's a whole story about someone. So I'm like, what am I supposed to feel? And even when Michael Jackson died, and then I was really sad, and then the stories were coming out, and I was like, conflicted now. What am I supposed to feel? I'm hurt, I'm sad, and then there is these accusations out there, and then some of them are guilty, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I need to get over my.
I think at the end of the day, Florence, I think it's very human to be conflicted, and it doesn't in any way dismiss your sympathy for the family and for the death in such an unfortunate circumstance. You're feeling all these things. So you feel human, and then in the analysis part, which we take on, most of us journalists, we go into digging into their lives. That's when you discover, oh my God, there's this ghost in so and so's life. So now it's not like you're dismissing that the death is traumatic, it is sad, but this is the only chance probably to talk about this person. You have to be objective, and everything is there. You feel what you're feeling. Yes, he has died. The wife is sad. They've even lost a daughter at the same time. But there was also this. So I tend to be a realist. I think about all these things. Even for Mandela, I felt all these conflicting emotions around how he treated the wife. And I'm like, yeah, he's an icon. You cannot deny the things. If someone has...
The Ugandan crocodiles at it again?
And service provider, we need to question that one.
Yeah.
I agree with Anne on, okay, not on what she's just been saying on, okay, even that one, I don't have any qualms, but if someone, for me, I'm attached to those people. Like if I grew up watching you and now you're gone, what does life look like without your music? What does it sound like? But also for me, it just really sinks in. Like Anne said, everybody will go at some point, and it doesn't matter how high we place you on a pedestal or whatever, we're all going to go somehow. But, special people die. You're special people, and sometimes in a horrific way sort of makes you feel like, what? The world is not safe, and you start to question everything. I remember around the time Kobe Bryant died, there was also another plane that went down. I was in Mombasa at that time, and I was supposed to be traveling back. All of us were sitting around the table. I was with a group of other people, and we're all thinking, if those people could die in a plane,
I know.
We're flying out the next day, but we're all freaking out. But also for me, just knowing that there will not be another song or movie from them. And then I think about Rosemary when she passed. And for us, we knew her, so she was sort of like a friend. But when you saw the outpouring from other people, online on social media, but I wanted to ask you, does your grief or how you feel about them ever connect to how they died?
Yeah.
For Rosemary's case, actually, that cancer, I feel like it's a cancer. Like you think about, cancer, you start thinking about, the diseases that exist. You start to think about cancer in a new light. You're like, oh my God, if someone can get this cancer, so can I. I've seen celebs dying of, breast cancer, stuff like that. And I always end up touching my boobs, checking them, looking for nodes. But then even for Rosemary's case, I feel like that cancer was treatable. It's a cancer which should have been caught early, So you start questioning, a lot of things. You start questioning the medical system. You start questioning about, us, our health-seeking behaviors. Do we go and see, do you go to a gyne if you feel something is happening to your vulva? Do you go for a checkup? Do you, So I get to raise a lot of questions about their death sometimes. And then for those who have died of overdoses and stuff, I know some people really call it a moral, disease, while others say it's medical. So I'm like, oh crap. So there's that balance. I just get confused sometimes.
When I think about
and then the other thing is, that with celebrity deaths, the highest percentage is predominantly, I think it's kind of like, it's kind of self-inflicted because of just the way they live their lives, So it, not in a bad way, but when you have like drug overdoses and alcohol problems and all that, because it takes a lot to be a celebrity, So eventually just the lifestyle, the way they live and the way they work, it's one of those things that they have like constantly working. It's like a 24-hour machine because you have to bring the money in. So the managers are asking for this. Everybody wants a piece of you. So somewhere, somehow, you have to, you either get prescription drugs or you start using other drugs or you start drinking to block things out, That some of these things, you feel like they could have been supported, to live a bit longer. But then you're like, then the people that are around you, because they want to make money off you, so they kind of like support you towards your own death, if that kind of makes sense. So
Yeah, they get depressed. They get depressed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pressure.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I like reading people's books written about people by biographies. Yeah. So I was reading, I think it was Elton John's book, and usually I read books like that because I know they'll have some insight into a celebrity they've met. So Elton John I was reading because he sang at Princess Diana's funeral, and when I read about the Princess Diana he knew, when I read about the Michael Jackson he knew, there's a scene where he describes Michael Jackson in those days and how he was worried for him. Then there are parts where he talks about the friends that these celebrities sort of had, and he's wondering, why weren't you there? It sort of gives me an insight into that. But I was going to say, when I think about the way Princess Diana died, and sometimes you want to blame the media, you're like, but guys, why are you such ruthless? I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, like Catherine Flack here in the UK, Kadoda, the lady who was presenting Live Island,
Yeah. Just like
one of them, the media somehow.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because the media also wants to tell the story, I mean, we'll not go far from what's this girl's situation, Meghan Markle and Harry, literally they've had to run away and hide somewhere in LA,
I was so happy when they left.
Because literally, like, the paparazzi just can't give you any breathing space, Yes, they want your picture. I mean, we have most of these celebrities, as you've noticed, Florence, they tend to live in the countryside, like in the UK. They literally, like, they hide them, they live on farms somewhere in the middle of nowhere, so they come into the city to work and then go back, But even on the farms where they live, the paparazzi are literally, like, following them.
I know.
You have cars that literally are following you everywhere in the village where you're living. I mean, I understand we are interested in their lives, but then we don't make it any easy for them, do we? We just don't. Like, everyone gets in your business, and then eventually just.
That is so true.
There's comments from online. We have Shamira who says, up to now, I can't believe radio is gone. And she has the crying in. We have Johnny who says, wow. We have Judith Oembabazi who says, happy to be here. Hello. Timothy Michael Mchibi says, my worst celebrity death so far, Miles Monroe, radio, Kobe Bryant. Then the one I never met, but imagine I lived in his days, Eli Wamala.
Oh, yeah.
Alzaid Victor says, I miss this set of journalists. Shout out to you guys. Timothy again says, the way you ladies have me glued onto these videos. Thanks, Timothy. And again, he says, wait, I'm sure radio actually died. Why do I not believe it? I wanted to ask you guys, there are people who are not bothered at all by celebrity deaths. For some reason, Craig, I thought you were one of those people. And I wanted to know.
I
know. Craig, you've always been this person who is just in your own space, yeah? So,
one time, Josephine, I saw Craig actually saying, now I'm going to start, posting, like they knew this celebrity, they're going to start playing their music, they're going to start doing this and this. Yes, Craig, please, the floor is yours.
No, see, that's the thing, because, because I'm into pop culture and all that, so I tend to be like, there are those sometimes that I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like with Kobe, I was like, okay, yeah, dude, you're flying like a private plane, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah. There are those way, there's some, and I'm just like, I can't be bothered, I'm like, whatever, But then there are those, I guess, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh my God, like, yeah, that they really do affect me. Like with radio, I was not necessarily a huge fan of radio, you know. So it's one of those. Yeah, I mean, he was talented. Don't get me wrong. I know just because
Yeah.
you love radio music. Yeah, but I wasn't like kind of fond of him. You know.
I met him. That's why it hurts.
Guys, I never met a man, but his music, like his brain.
Radio was amazing. Like,
he was really good and talented, and then but because I wasn't really fond of him, so there are those when I'm not fond of them and I'm just like, yeah, I'm like whatever, I'm like, yeah, another one, yeah, whatever, you know. And then you get those that are really kind of chaotic, like Temwa situation. You know, she's unstable, really. She's a bit crazy, Temwa Braxton, and
Josephine loves her.
No, oh my, no, don't get me wrong. I really, her music is really good. She's like, she always, I think she's underrated because she sits under Tony.
She is. There's a song of hers just stuck with me.
Yeah, but then her personal life is a bit chaotic as well. She's a bit kind of crazy. You know, she's always calling people out and doing all these kind of crazy things, and I'm just like, okay. So when the suicide attempt kind of happened, on Thursday, and I was like, okay. To be honest, I was thinking, oh yeah, another stunt, you know. That's how I was feeling, you know, because she's a bit chaotic. But then you realize and you're like, okay, this is actually serious, you know. Yeah, but there's moments when I'm a bit disconnected sometimes, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever, because I'm thinking myself, I'm like, I got bigger problems than. They've been living their life, they've had it all, and I'm like, I gotta pay my bills, so.
I can be bothered. Can you imagine? Yeah. So Craig, I'm a little bit like you. I can relate a bit, but for me, it's for different reasons. I don't know if their lives are chaotic. I don't know what they are doing with their lives. I don't know if I'm even on earth sometimes. So some of these celebrities die, and one morning I open my Facebook feed and everyone is mourning, and I'm like, oh my God, who is this? So it's not necessarily that I don't care. I'm not bothered by their death, but it's because I really didn't have a relationship until it's too much, like I said, like for Prince, and I'm like, who is? So usually what happens is, like, I don't know these people. I genuinely, honestly, they passed me by. I don't know them. So in death, I still move on with my life as you guys mourn. So that's what happens.
Okay,
and we shall continue mourning, because mourning is healthy. Guys, don't feel embarrassed to mourn a celebrity. It hurts.
Come in here.
It's normal. It's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with mourning a celebrity.
Josephine, you're so soft.
Godfrey Nkurunziza says, we made noise about the death of Floyd, but no one has tried to seek justice for our own. AK-47, Mosaic. So you see people like get attached to the point of, we need to seek justice for these people.
Yeah.
I know some need justice. But, well, it depends even on the country where you are. A country like Uganda, I don't want even to get into, you know, the politics of that country. You know, I love my country, but...
That country?
You see,
look at you.
You seek justice, where do you start? You go to the street, you try striking, they just shut you down. You can't even have a peaceful, you know, strike. You can't even protest, you know, the lack of medicines. You can't, you know, you just shushed and, you know, shot at. So people just gave up. But we feel it. We riot, or we riot in our own ways. We put it out on social media. We say this is senseless. Why did it happen? There should be an investigation. I think with Mosaic, like this was a fight. It was something, I feel like it was stupid and senseless and shouldn't have happened. And I feel like someone needs to be held accountable, you know, for that. But even, not just even for celebrities, even other people, you know, we know them, but it depends on where you are, the society.
All right, so our time is fast spent, but before we close, I just wanted us to catch up with Craig and just find out how he's doing. It's been a minute since we saw you.
Oh my God, it's been long.
It's 2 minutes.
Oh, not so.
No, I'm good actually. Yeah, it's just it's COVID that's affecting me, so I can't travel. I love to travel. So I feel like because of COVID, it's like I feel like I can't go anywhere. I just feel like, and it's supposed to be summer, but then it's like, summer and a lockdown. So it's like, okay. I mean, if the lockdown was in winter, that would have been great. But
right?
I know.
Yeah.
You look good. You look good. You look like you're in your Craig element. This is the Craig I expected to see. Lockdown or not lockdown? Like,
He's always in his Craig element.
At all.
Just say a quick byes and we can wrap up the show. We've overshot by a couple of minutes. Anne, do you want to say bye? A quick bye, then I'll go around.
Bye-bye.
Florence?
A bye and a shout out to Nshuti Patience, who was following our posts from In Our World in our Facebook page. So guys, thank you for watching, and like I said, do not be embarrassed, do not feel guilty mourning a celebrity. It's okay, it's great. If it makes you connect with other people, go to social media, look at the rest of us, let's collectively mourn them. It's relieving, it's good.
Craig?
Yeah, well, it was a pleasure having me on here. It's great, and it's nice catching up. And just let me know in future. I'm glad to join in again.
We are supposed to boot you off after 5 minutes, but imagine we've got all the way with you throughout the show. Amazing.
I know, right?
Craig, that's it for today. Please remember our hashtag RealConvo IOW. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, share your comments. Your feedback is important to us. From Anne, Florence, myself, and Craig this time. Until next Saturday, have a great Sunday afternoon.
Yes.